Welcome to our GEO Guide Part 11, Final GEO Action Plan.
Glad to be here for this one.
Yeah, so imagine spending, I don't know, $50,000 on a complete website redesign. You hire these top-tier developers, you write thousands of words of beautiful, engaging content, you launch the site, and then, well, a generative AI search engine completely ignores you.
Right, all because of just one single hidden line of code. It happens all the time.
Exactly. And look, if you've been following along with our series on generative engine optimization, it's completely normal to feel kind of overwhelmed right now.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we're looking at a discipline that touches literally everything, from technical SEO to brand visibility. And it often feels like you're being asked to just boil the ocean.
Which is precisely where most website owners just freeze up.
Yeah.
They look at this massive mountain of requirements for AI-driven search engines, they panic, and then they assume they need to rebuild their entire digital presence overnight.
Right.
And that kind of paralysis is incredibly dangerous because in the AI era, standing still means actively losing your visibility.
Yeah. And that brings us to the mission of today's deep dive. We are shifting away from all the high-level theory we've covered over the past 10 parts, and we're moving strictly into practice.
Finally getting our hands dirty.
Exactly. We are unpacking this fantastic essay by Jörg-Owe Schneppat. And honestly, Schneppat's core philosophy here is going to be a huge relief to you. He says you do not need to change everything at once.
Right, because generative engine optimization actually rewards consistency and precision, not these chaotic overhauls.
Yeah.
Schneppat argues the goal isn't instant perfection. The goal is a consistent, prioritized plan that focuses strictly on the pages that actually matter. Schneppat's framework is really about identifying the biggest weaknesses on your most vital pages and then just removing those weaknesses methodically.
You have to triage before you treat.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack this triage concept. I like to think about it this way. You wouldn't spend thousands of dollars redecorating the inside of your store, perfectly arranging all the window displays, if the front door is completely bricked up.
Right, or if your open sign is broken.
Yeah. Nobody can get in to see your beautiful new setup anyway.
What's fascinating here is that people tend to think AI just magically reads the internet through some, I don't know, omniscient connection. But it doesn't.
It really doesn't.
It relies entirely on automated crawlers. If your website has a technical roadblock, the AI model literally does not know your business exists.
Wow.
Yeah, so before you rewrite a single word of content to please an LLM, you have to ensure the search systems can actually reach it. Schneppat really emphasizes auditing and prioritizing here. Not all pages deserve your attention.
He suggests dividing the site into 3 priority buckets. Yeah. Right. So let's talk about what actually qualifies as priority 1.
Sure.
We're talking about business-critical pages here. So the home page, high-traffic blog articles, pricing pages, local landing pages, or, your best-selling product categories.
Exactly. The pages that directly drive leads and revenue. And then priority 2 pages support those main topics, and priority 3 are basically low-value or outdated pages. The danger here is that website owners get emotionally attached to priority 3 pages. They'll waste weeks tweaking a legacy blog post from 4 years ago that literally nobody reads.
Just because they spent a lot of time writing it back then.
Yes. But Schneppat is completely adamant about this. You have to start with priority 1. Improving a high-value page is what actually changes your business trajectory.
Okay, so let's say you have your priority 1 list.
Yeah.
You don't just jump right into writing better headings, do you?
No, not yet.
Right, you have to fix technical access first.
Yeah.
So what are the specific technical roadblocks Schneppat warns about that block these AI crawlers?
Well, it really comes down to basic visibility. Like, is an important page accidentally blocked by a robots.txt file?
Oh, that's a classic mistake.
Right. Or does it have a noindex tag just buried in the header? Or maybe the server takes 30 seconds to respond. You have to remember, generative AI systems cannot easily cite a PDF document or pull semantic meaning out of a complex infographic.
Yeah, the main content really has to be rendered as visible, readable HTML text.
Exactly. If the AI system encounters a mobile usability error or some severe loading delay, it simply abandons the crawl. It just moves on to your competitor.
So once we've verified that the search engine and honestly, more importantly, the user can actually get to the priority 1 page and read the HTML, what is the very first thing they need to see?
According to Schneppat, it all comes down to immediate clarity.
Which moves us into the art of the direct answer.
Yes, and so many websites completely fail at this specific hurdle. They delay giving the user the exact answer they came for. Schneppat points out that a staggering number of pages just hide their value behind these massive walls of marketing fluff.
Oh, I hate that. You click a link hoping to find out how much a service costs, and instead you get like 4 paragraphs of generic brand statements.
Right, or a long philosophical introduction about the history of the entire industry before they even touch on the actual topic.
Yes. So Schneppat says a GEO-ready page actually provides a direct answer right near the top of the page, usually in just 2 to 4 sentences.
The mechanics of why this matters to AI are so fascinating. Generative search engines use vector databases to parse content. They often weigh the information density at the very top of the document object model, or DOM, much higher than content buried at the bottom.
Makes sense.
So Schneppat gives a very clear format to feed this system. The first sentence directly answers the main question, the second sentence gives the most important context, and then the third sentence outlines the main factors, limitations, or the immediate next step.
He actually uses this great, highly specific example in the essay. If you have a landing page about, say, emergency plumbing in Flensburg, you do not start with, "Plumbing has been an essential part of civilization since the Roman aqueducts."
Please don't do that.
Right. Instead, you immediately state, "We provide 247 emergency plumbing services in Flensburg and surrounding areas. Our response time is typically under 45 minutes. Call our dispatch number now for immediate assistance."
It is entirely stripped of unnecessary promotion. You just deliver the value instantly. Or, if the page is about website redesign costs, you don't say, "A website is your digital storefront." You just give a realistic cost estimate range right away, and then you list the 3 main factors that drive that price up or down.
But wait, let me push back on this a little bit.
Yeah.
If we give the ultimate answer away in the first 3 sentences,
Yeah.
won't users just leave immediately? Why would they keep reading?
I hear that all the time.
Yeah, it seems like that would destroy your dwell time or your engagement metrics if they don't have to hunt for the information.
It's a really common fear, but it completely misunderstands user psychology. Schneppat's logic here is that providing a direct answer does not kill engagement. It establishes immediate trust.
Oh.
Think about it. When a user, who is probably feeling frustrated or rushed, sees that you respect their time and actually possess the answer, they relax. They know they're in the right place.
Right, they aren't scanning desperately anymore.
Exactly. And from there, they will naturally scroll down into the rest of the page for the context, the pricing tiers, and the nuance they actually need to make an informed decision.
Which means the rest of the page better be organized well enough to guide them through that nuance. So Schneppat focuses heavily on structure next, specifically headings and tables.
Weak headings are a massive liability in generative engine optimization. Vague headings like "our solution" or "more information" tell the user and the AI parsing the page absolutely nothing about the semantic relationship of the paragraphs below it.
Yes, strong headings need to be highly specific. So instead of just writing important details, Schneppat advises using a heading like "What affects website redesign costs?" or "How our SEO audit process works."
Exactly.
He also heavily advocates for using tables, right, for comparisons, pricing factors, pros and cons, or checklists. But how exactly does an AI model interact with a table differently than just, a standard wall of text?
Well, think of structured data and tables like giving the AI a neatly labeled spreadsheet, whereas a wall of text is like handing it a messy, handwritten diary.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks. AI algorithms, specifically retrieval-augmented generation systems, they just excel at extracting relationships from structured formats. When you put pricing tiers or feature comparisons in a clean HTML table, the AI can confidently pull that data to answer a user's complex query.
It removes all the guesswork.
Right. You answer the main question clearly at the top, and then you structure the supporting info so logically that the user can navigate complex decisions without any friction.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Clear structure gets you read by users and parsed by algorithms, but proving your expertise is what actually gets you cited as a source by AI engines.
Yes, citation is the ultimate goal.
Exactly. So Schneppat moves into building trust and citability.
Trust really is the foundational currency of generative engine optimization. Search systems are constantly evaluating whether the information on your page is reliable enough to serve to a user. Making your responsibility visible is the very first step.
Schneppat asks a very direct question here. Who is responsible for this content? Because users and AI engines shouldn't have to play detective to figure out who is behind the website. You need author information, reviewer details, clear company info, and contact details.
Let's look at the mechanism behind why this works. AI models build these vast knowledge graphs. They don't just read your text, they cross-reference your author's name to see if they're a recognized entity.
Like, have they been published elsewhere? Are they mentioned on credible industry sites?
Right. If you're making a bold claim, but the AI cannot verify the author entity or find any transparent methodologies, it will demote that content's trust score. If it's a medical page, you need expert review notes. If it's an e-commerce product, you need transparent return policies.
And that ties directly into making the content citable. Schneppat stresses that you have to replace vague claims with precise information. He points out that saying, "we offer high-quality service," is a completely useless claim.
Oh, totally. Every company on Earth says that.
Exactly. It means nothing to a human, and it certainly means nothing to an AI.
To make a claim citable, you really have to explain exactly what the service includes, what specific problems it solves, who performs the work, and what realistic results actually look like.
Search systems are basically programmed to look for verifiable proof, not empty marketing promises.
Yes, if an AI is going to generate a summary and attach your link as the primary citation, it will choose the source that provides specific facts, dated statistics, and transparent limitations.
Schneppat calls this adding original value. And honestly, this might be the most crucial takeaway from the entire essay. He says you need to include real project examples, local market knowledge, unique checklists, or your own internal observations.
Generic content is just incredibly easy for an AI to bypass. I mean, a large language model already contains billions of parameters of generic foundational knowledge. It doesn't need your website to explain the basic definition of SEO.
Right.
But original data, your actual on-the-ground experience working with clients in your specific city, the LLM doesn't have that.
So by injecting original value, you basically force the AI to cite you, because you're introducing novel information into its ecosystem. It creates a moat around your content.
That's exactly it.
Okay, let's say you do all of this. You have brilliant, technically accessible, priority 1 pages. They feature direct answers at the top, highly specific headings, clean tables, visible authors, and highly citable original data. Are you done? Like, can you just walk away?
Unfortunately, no. You've built great individual outposts, but now they need to be woven into a larger web of authority. Those pages need network connections, maintenance, and ongoing measurement.
Okay, let's talk about those network connections. Schneppat refers to strengthening topic clusters, but he makes a crucial distinction here. You do not build clusters just around keywords. You build them around real user needs.
Right, you have to map the user's cognitive journey.
Yeah.
What does the user need to understand first? What questions logically come next? So if you have a main guide on generative engine optimization, you link it naturally to supporting pages that dive deeper into specific applications. You might link to a page on, say, GEO for e-commerce or AI search visibility metrics.
So the main page acts as the hub, giving the broad overview, and the supporting pages tackle all those specialized nuances.
And you use descriptive internal links to connect them, giving the AI crawler a clear pathway to understand the exact relationship between those pages.
Schneppat also touches on structured data here, right? He is surprisingly pragmatic about it. He treats it as just another tool for clarity, not some sort of magic bullet.
Yes, and it absolutely must be used truthfully. You only use schema markup if it accurately describes the content the user actually sees.
Yeah, Schneppat is uncompromising on this. Never use structured data to inject fake review stars or misleading availability claims. If you have an FAQ section, mark it up. If you have an article, mark it up. But the code must match the visual reality. That brings us to maintenance and regular updates. And I really have to push back on something here because I know a lot of people are guilty of this. Schneppat calls out fake updates.
Yo, the old date switch.
Right. When a content manager just logs into their CMS, changes the published date to today, hits save, and hopes Google thinks it's fresh content. Does Google's AI actually read the text, compare it to yesterday's text, and penalize you if the core facts haven't changed?
Absolutely, yes. Search engines are constantly calculating semantic drift and textual delta. They look at the actual substance of the changes.
Wow.
A real update, according to Schneppat, requires meaningful intervention. It means checking facts to see if they are still accurate. It means replacing outdated screenshots with modern interfaces.
It means adding new data that emerged over the last year, right? Fixing broken links and actively removing obsolete advice.
Yes. So changing a timestamp is just a trick, and AI systems are well past falling for it. You really have to create a realistic review schedule. For fast-changing topics like software updates or AI news, that might be monthly. For stable, evergreen guides, an annual review might suffice, but the intervention must be real.
Okay, so this raises an important question. How do we know if all this effort is actually paying off? We have to measure and improve. Schneppat says to look beyond just traditional keyword rankings, which are becoming less reliable anyway.
Yeah, he focuses on metrics that indicate real-world AI traction. You should be tracking AI referral traffic, so visitors coming directly from systems like Perplexity or ChatGPT.
Right.
You should monitor AI mentions, branded search volume, and most importantly, lead quality. Like, are the people contacting you actually educated about your services because they read your direct answers?
Okay, so we have covered the core philosophy, the triage, the direct answers, the trust signals, the original value, and the maintenance. But, theory is one thing. Schneppat claims this can be mapped out in a 30-day sprint.
He does.
But how is a local plumber in Flensburg supposed to use the exact same 30-day plan as a massive global sauce company?
Well, that's the brilliance of Schneppat's framework. The 30-day plan isn't about applying the exact same specific tactics. It's about following the same sequence of momentum, because trying to do everything at once just leads to paralysis.
Let's walk through what that sequence looks like.
Sure. Week 1 is purely about the audit. You identify those priority 1 pages we talked about. You check for the major technical roadblocks like indexability. You select just 5 to 10 pages to focus on.
So you don't fix a single word of content yet. You just gain clarity on what needs attention.
Exactly.
And then week 2.
Week 2 is about answers and structure. For those 5 to 10 selected pages, you write those short, direct 2 to 4 sentence answers right at the top. You rewrite vague headings into specific questions. You organize complex data into a clear table.
So the entire goal of week 2 is making the pages instantly understandable.
You got it.
Okay, so week 3 then moves into trust.
Correct. Week 3 is trust and citability. You add your author bios, your transparent methodologies, your update dates. Most importantly, you replace those vague marketing claims with precise, citable facts.
You inject that original value through local knowledge or unique case studies.
Yes.
And week 4 wraps it up.
Week 4 is about click value and measurement. You ensure the conversion paths are clear, you verify mobile usability, and you establish your baseline metrics so you can actually track the long-term progress.
It sounds like a highly focused sprint designed to get you out of the planning phase and into execution.
It really is.
But the actual content of that sprint changes depending on your business model. Schneppat customizes the advice. So what does this all mean in practice for different industries?
Well, if you're a local business, your original value and trust signals look different than a software company. A local business really needs Google Business Profile consistency, authentic photos of the team at work, and highly specific service area descriptions.
What about an e-commerce site?
An e-commerce priority is high-quality original product information. You can't just copy the manufacturer's description.
Oh, that's the worst.
Right. You need clear availability, robust buying guides, and a seamless purchase path. You want to provide the nuance that helps a user choose between 2 similar products with real confidence.
And for service providers.
Schneppat advises service providers to start with problem-solution structures on their pages. They need clear pricing guidance, even if it's just a range and heavy use of specific case studies, to build trust before the prospect ever picks up the phone.
Makes sense. And if you're running a SaaS or software company?
SaaS companies need to focus on clear use cases, like who is the software actually for? They need transparent comparison pages, and they absolutely must ruthlessly reduce friction in the demo or trial path.
Finally, for publishers and blogs.
For publishers, the entire game is author authority and original analysis. It is all about strict editorial standards and providing unique insights rather than just, repeating the same news cycle as everyone else. The beauty of Schneppat's essay is that it gives you permission to ignore what doesn't apply to your specific model. You identify your business type, grab that 30-day sequence, and just start with week 1.
Which brings us to a profound realization at the very end of this essay. A thought I really want you to mull over as we wrap up this deep dive.
It's a great point.
Yeah, Schneppat points out that a good generative engine optimization action plan doesn't just prepare your website to be parsed by an AI algorithm. It fundamentally makes your website better for real human users.
It forces an alignment of incentives that the SEO industry has lacked for years.
Think about it. If every AI search engine on the planet disappeared entirely tomorrow, wouldn't a fast, clearly structured, highly trustworthy website, one that gives direct answers without the fluff and backs up its claims with precise, original evidence, wouldn't that website still absolutely dominate the competition?
Oh, without a doubt. Direct answers, logical structure, visible expertise, and original value. I mean, that is exactly what human users have always wanted.
But they rarely received it because websites were too busy trying to trick legacy keyword algorithms.
Exactly.
Ultimately, optimizing for AI is just a forcing function. It's forcing us to stop hiding behind vague marketing copy and finally be ruthlessly, transparently useful to the human beings actually reading our pages. When you strip away all the technical jargon, GEO is really just an exercise in extreme clarity.
It truly is. It brings the focus back to quality, respect for the user's time, and undeniable expertise.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to check out the website blue3w.com and the next chapter 12, final conclusion. Take care.